Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're going to be taking part in the final Jumpstart, as I think this is ending pretty soon. And I just want to play it one more time before it goes. I'm pretty sure it's like at the start of next month it's going, so we technically do have a lot more time to play around with it, but I think this is probably the last time I will invest gold in it, to be honest, because there's actually no economical and financial value in this format anymore. It's just purely for fun. So yeah, let's get into a purely for fun format, shall we? So for those who don't know how this works, we pay 2,000 gold in, and then it gives us a choice of 3 packs twice, and then we pick one pack out of those 3 choices, jam those 2 choices together, and then play that deck. So we get 2 Jumpstart rares from it. I'm pretty sure I've got every Jumpstart card that I should ever want, except for the basic lands from each of the packs, and the one that I really want is Phyrexian, so if I see that one, I'm snapping it up in a heartbeat. But anyway, let's choose our packs, shall we? Rainbow. You know, I do like rainbows. It's probably going to be the dodgiest of the packs to pick, but it could have like a Maelstrom Angel in it, and I don't remember if I ever got one of those, and it's pretty good for Brawl, I guess, in 5 colour piles. So let's go for Rainbow. It's also kind of just fun. Yeah, I've had all of these, so let's have, what would go well with rainbows? Maybe Seismic, because I think this has got a little bit of ramp in it, and if it does, then Seismic has a lot of X spells, if I remember rightly. Heavily Armored could be a thing. I think this is the one with Micaeus in it as well. It's a card I kind of want. But let's just go with Seismic. We're here to have fun on this one. Seismic Rainbows. Alright. So, in this particular pile, we got ourselves the Maelstrom Archangel, the Wooburg 5/5 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player, you can cast the spell from your hand without paying its mana cost. And I think that's the only rare you get from it, but you get some pretty intense cards all the same. What's the rare for Magma Quake? Is the rare for Seismic, dealing X damage to each creature without flying and each planeswalker. There's one that deals it to players as well. I can't remember which one that is, but yeah, it should be pretty cool. Not actually as much ramp as I thought there'd be in here. In fact, technically, there's 2 pieces, and I think that's it. But yeah, we'll give this one a shot anyway. We've got a nice skew of heavy mountain action here. We've got a Mirrodin's Core, some Rupture Spires, Thriving Bluffs, and a Terramorphic Expanse to help us fix our mana base. As it turns out, maybe I did regret picking this one, because it doesn't have as much ramp in it as I thought it did, but either way, we're here to have fun, and fun we shall have. So if you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more of this when it comes back around once again. And yeah, without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, let's have a look-see. We have an Ashmouth Hound. When it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, it deals 1 damage to that creature. Okay, there's one like that in the Goblins pile as well. I think it's like Ornery Goblin or something. We have a Chamber Sentry that we can do X2. It's not the greatest hand, but I think it'll do. It's aggressive enough. If we draw our 3rd colour as well, then we have Chamber Sentry X3, so that could be a better 3-drop. August Spree's kind of nice as well. Just going to go land go. Opponent on a red deck and a blue deck. I can't remember what this one's... I think this is the Flyers list, if I remember rightly. And then Chandra's Magma. It's probably just Chandra. Okay. Well, we're going to go with the Ashmouth Hound. We got ourselves a Mana Geode, which allows us to scry. Can set up Chamber Sentry maybe on an X4, or even get the Seismic Elemental out early. Yeah, I think it's called Above the Clouds, this one. Lord Mage's Binding. Alright, well, let's get in. Let's offer a trade. If you want to trade anyway, I'm more than happy to do that. Doubt our opponent does, to be honest, but... Let's go Mana Geode. And any land is fine here. Prophetic Prism is fixing, but I actually want a land. I want to be able to play Seismic Elemental next turn, I think. And we could Chamber Sentry X1 here, but I'm not going to. I think that attack maybe was a little bit too aggressive on my part. Since I'm hitting them for 2 and taking 4 here, I didn't really think that one through. So flyers cost a little bit less. If I remember rightly, the Above the Clouds is a pretty good deck, but I think he's got like one of the worst rares that you could get. So we can play the Seismic Elemental. Creatures without flying can't block. It is a 4/4 that can push through the Wall of Runes and the Magma. We could Augur Spree to kill the Warden, and then we have the blocker for the Magma. From there, we are playing an X2 Chamber Sentry, I guess. Which isn't terrible. Yeah, I think that's the line. I don't know why you would do that. So Augur Spree the Warden. It's kind of like attacking their mana as well. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It did work. Alright. And then we can X2 a Chamber Sentry. Opponent's got a 0/4, so we can't push through that. This should be able to pick off any flyers that our opponent plays if we feel the need that we to take care of them. It's got a Hungry Flames. And that's a good sign that they do indeed have a flyer that could take out. We have the Law Mage's Binding, which is castable here. That would help out. Thriving Isle, and passes the turn. Damage to a creature equal to the number of mountains you control, so we can kill the Magma. I think I'll just get the Elemental out, honestly. See if we can trade Magma first. Not going to take the bait on that one. That's totally fine. Could Magma Quake, but I don't feel the need to. Let's just get a 4/4 out. A big old threat. Undamaged to us, because with this Magma around, we do need to close this game out quickly. We can obviously kill it, but if I don't have to kill it and I can force our opponent to block with it, that'd be all the better. Right now I could do an X2 Magma Quake, and that would allow me to just kill everything off here. Opponent could have played around that with the Glide Master, but they just tapped out, which is kind of nice. So yeah, let's get in. We're going to sweep the board here, mostly. Wall of Runes is potentially going to die if it blocks. If it blocks, we can do an X3 or 2, and it'll work. We were always going to lose the Hound here, so let's do... I don't think there's a Spell Pierce in this format. And even if there was, I would still want to try and go for the creature without flying. Let's just do an X3. I don't imagine that they've got anything that could kill the Elemental there. So now we've got removal twice over. We've got a 4/4 threat. Now a creature with flying attacks, you may draw a card. Well, we're going to make sure that it doesn't attack. Or block, funnily enough. And keep getting in. Yeah, Windreader Sphinx. Actually not as bad as I remember it being. I can't remember if there's multiple rares that you can get here. Chandra's Magma. We're gonna see if they want to block with it. They go to 6. We can hit them for 4. We'll wait on that. We'll destroy the Magma here with a Spitting Earth. And play Molten Ravager with Fire Breathing. And we should have this game closed out. Excess damage is going to be dealt with the Volcanic Geyser. Oh yeah, that's the other rare. This thing that deals damage to itself. It's a thing, alright. Right, so let's attack. Gonna block the 0/4, sure. And you're dead. Exaxes. I could make them die to their own Ifrit as well, since they get 1 damage pings on upkeep there, but that'll do just fine. A little bit sketchy towards the beginning. Definitely made a little misplay out of short-sightedness, but we got there in the end. And our victory card is going to be a Momentous Fall. It's nice as a one-of for Brawl, but I think this is my 4th now, so it's pretty bad. This is kind of why I hesitate to do a little bit more Jumpstart, even though I enjoy it, because there's nothing in this format for me anymore except for basic lands, which are definitely a reasonable reward, but I'd like something a bit better. And this is all going towards the next set, so yeah, a little bit of a mana sink here by design for Wizards. But anyway, on to the next one. Okay, we're in, and opponent goes first. We've got 2-drop, 3-drop, 6-drop, 3-drop. Got a Mirrodin's Core, which we can charge to add 1 mana of any colour. Yeah, I like this hand, actually. Skittering Surveyor can get us the blue or black that we want for the Horror. Horror's a pretty good card. I don't mind this one. Thriving Maw. There are at least a black deck. This one sacrifices unless you pay 1, so we do not want to be playing that. They are a Tree Folk something deck. Put a charge counter on. Chamber Sentry. I think we're just going to get our aggro on here with the Ashmouth Hound. And pass the turn. Kind of giving away that we've got a 0-drop in our hand. When it dies, return another creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Somehow I don't see them doing that. Well, let's get in. See if they want to trade. They do not. To nobody's surprise there. So we could go with the Rupture Spire to fix our mana, but our mana currently with our hand is already sort of fixed. I think we go for the Skittering Surveyor and grab a blue or a black source here. I think it's a black source because Augur Spree is in our deck and it's an early game card that we might end up playing next turn. It's hard to say really, but I don't think we're really going to struggle for mana here. So if anything, we want to draw all of our big 5-color cards. Opponent just passes. So we could play... Well, let's get in for combat first. Let's see what they want to do. Do they finally want to block the Ashmouth Hound? I'm totally fine with that. I don't want this thing having its death trigger anyway. I think that means that we just go for the Molten Ravager here. And probably thin the deck with a Terramorphic Expanse. So we got our black. Let's get our blue. Crypt Lurker. Discard a card or sack the Crypt Lurker if you want to draw a card. Gets rid of Gristle Grinner. So this is the... I can't even remember what this one's called now. It's a reanimatory one anyway. So Din Rover not going to do a great deal of good for us, unfortunately, but we should be able to get there all the same. So I could do a 1. I'd have to use my charge counter on Mirrodin's Core if I wanted a Chamber Sentry X3 and to play the Rupture Spire. Maybe we just get like the heavy pressure on, we go Seismic Elemental, then we go Dim Rover Horror. That could be a play. I mean, this only gets in for 4 though. So what about we just go ahead and get an X4 Chamber Sentry? There we go. Pass the turn, because we can't push through. See if they have the removal for the Chamber Sentry. Gnarled Sage. Okay. So, the problem for our deck is that their deck contains lots of big old creatures. And ours doesn't. Not immediately, anyway. Deals X damage to any target. Well, let's go Dinrover Horror then. Make them bounce one of these and then discard. Let's just get rid of the 4/4 that could trade with the Chamber Sentry, I suppose. I wonder if they block the Skittering Surveyor if I send it in. Oh wow, you got rid of Warden of the Woods? Why on earth would you do that? That card's dope. It's one of the best cards in the Treefolk deck. I don't think I even trade a 1/2. We have this unblockable thing later that we could use. So I think we're going to be doing a little bit of a mana setup turn coming up. Bone Splinters my Chamber Sentry. And make me sack 2 creatures. Well, let's keep the 4/4. Magma Jet, 2 damage to any target, scry 2. That's not too bad. So let's play Rupture Spire. Tap the blue. Play the Cinder Elemental. Charge counter back on Mirrodin's Core, so we have all 5 colours of mana available. And now we're hitting for 6, probably not though, technically, because of the Gnarled Sage, and then we have this Fireball here as well. X damage to any target. This does damage to any target as well. The deck, I don't believe, has any life gain. Maybe the black side of it does. Finishing Blow. Interesting. Alright, so send in 2. Could pay 5 to get this back, and then hold up and Magma Jet plus Mirrodin's Core tap. This thing also hits any target as well, so we have plenty of fireballs available to us. This one just keeps recurring as well. I think that's okay. Because if we hold the Elemental as well, we can stop whatever they play from blocking the Elemental, take them down to 5. And then we're ready to go there. Although, do we have lethal right now? If we Magma Jet them to 5, this is X and tap? Alright, yeah, cool. We'll just kill them. Just killing them seems pretty good, and there's a Volcanic Geyser as well to get the job done extra. Let's do all of our steps, not that we really need to. And that'll do, pig. That'll do. Alright, well that is our second win. Rainbow's pretty good, even though it's got a very sketchy mana base. Ooh, Branching Evolution. That is a really good pickup. I don't know if I ever had 4 of these, but there is a deck that could crop up at some point in the future with a card like this. It's nice and cheap to give us the double +1/+1 counter ability. It's probably a little too slow for how unfair Historic is right now, but who knows? Maybe in the future there's something there, and it'd be nice to have all the cards anyway. But yeah, I think we've got time for a couple more games, maybe 1 or 2. These ones have been pretty short. Usually I think we go for like 3 or 4 games with this format, and that's usually a decent video length, so let's keep going, shall we? Alrighty then, opponent goes first. We only have red mana, but the Prismatic Prism can fix it. And it is a redraw as well. There are better hands, but I think with a Prism, there are certainly worse hands, and it's not like most of our deck isn't red anyway. So I'm going to keep this one. Being on the draw, we could even hit a land. See what our opponent is on. That is, I think it's called Lightning, something like that. It's supposed to have Lightning Bolt in it, but yeah, about that. So, Something to note with these mountains, this one is from our Seismic pack. If I played this one, our opponent would know that we're on at least a different red deck. So we're actually going to avoid giving our opponent information by going for this one. That being said, honestly, the moment I play a Prism, if they really know what they're doing, then they'd know that the jig is up on that, but who knows. I'm going to go Prism anyway, and I think this is Legion. This is like a soldier tribal thing? I can't quite remember on that one. I used to know these packs like the back of my hand, but it's been gone that long that I've kind of lost all useful information on this on the reading here. Ash Mouth Hound. Well, we'll play that. If it blocks the Visionary, it just kind of dies, and then the Prowess won't really save it too much, but I imagine they've got a little bit of removal here. All the same. And I've got a Geyser I could use if something really nasty comes out. Lightning Phoenix. Nice. Well, bring that in. As Phoenixes go, it's not bad. Well, we've got our Thriving Bluff. We're going to name White, because we have White, Green, White, Blue. And Prismatic Prism can be our green and our blue with this Thriving Bluff. So let's put that on White. And swing in. Honestly, I think I might just throw a Geyser at the Visionary. 1 white mana I don't think is a thing for Prowess. So let's just get that off the table. The Lightning Phoenix is a little harder to deal with. In fact, we probably want to put like a Law Mage's Binding on it. This one comes back whenever our opponent deals 3 damage to us during a turn. Which should be relatively easy for a deck like theirs. Ew, Lightning Elemental, 4/1 with haste. It's pretty good. It doesn't get through an Ashmouth Hound, though. If I don't want it to. Drew an Island, which is nice. Not so reliant on the Prophetic Prism now. So the Hound blocking the Elemental wins. I think I'm just going to go Binding. This is a 5 mana create a soldier. It also technically blocks the Lightning Elemental. But I do hope that they don't read the Ashmouth Hound more than anything. I think I've just got to take care of this Phoenix. Over a long period of time, that's going to be a troublesome individual. So, do they have Ashmouth Hound removal? They only have 1 mountain. But a lot of their removal is probably going to be single red. So it's hard to say, but this would be our great point to stabilize if we can. They do have the double red. Alright, so if there was any chance that they had very risky removal, then it's all gone. Valorous Steed. Okay, offer the trade. Do it. Do it. Coward. Okay. Magma Jet. That's not bad. I can play the Warlord and hold up in Magma Jet. So that's just what I'll do. Pass with the Jet available to remove anything if it gets a bit sketchy. I think 5 toughness here should be a problem for our opponent. And that Hound as well trades into the Valorous Steed, which is really nice. Oh. That's a thing. Well, we have to take that. At least it goes away. Yeah, that's a thing. Let's see if they get aggressive. I don't think it benefits them to get aggressive, honestly, but I suppose you never know. They're gonna go for it. Alright, so they've got 1 red mana open. Could be, I think, a shock in this format. Is reasonable. Hound just kills Elemental on a trigger. Magma Jet plus Warlord kills Valorous Steed. I think killing on the trigger there is where we want to be. And then we'll do this. I'm not sure this attack really makes any sense. It would make more sense if they got in with the 2/2 Knight token, honestly, but they didn't. Like, it would make more sense from their end. From ours, it would actually be a massive blowout. Because instead of blocking the way that we do, the Ironroot Warlord blocks the 2/2, kills it. Ashmouth Hound blocks the Steed, kills it, and then we Magma Jet the Elemental. Opponent's going to go for a Lightning Axe, dealing 5 damage to the creature. Okay. It's pretty good. Not much you can do about that. Beyond what we've already done. Probably just still going to Magma Jet the 2/2 here, because I'm going to need a good draw. Maelstrom Archangel, I'm assuming I can't cast that. White, blue, black, red. Yeah, I can't cast it, so it's going to have to go into the trash. That sucks. I really want to cast that. Maybe in the Chromatic Cube we can find it. Alright, so that gets shuffled back in. We've got a Grim Lavamancer here. Gonna go with Seismic Elemental. Lavamancer. Getting with the Ashmouth Hound I think is fine. Double blockers shouldn't be a problem. And let's play our mountain. I think when we delayed on playing it, we kind of gave away big time what we were doing, or what we had in hand anyway. So we'll just get it out there for like a Magma Quake. Daybreak Charger. I could trade with my Elemental, and they want to do that. It's fine by me. I mean, Lavamancer's going to kill the Charger. Cinder Elemental. So let's get in for 2. If they block, it dies. So this is free damage for me. And then we've got the Lavamancer to kill the Charger. We'll do that before they draw, so they can't defend it. And then short of them having an answer to this binding, we've got really no concerns whatsoever. And a Cinder Elemental to follow up for all of our massive mana needs. Gonna let it go. Fair enough. Still gonna just pick this off now. I don't think my graveyard matters, but we'll get rid of the creatures. Play our Elemental. Opponent's at 14. They really can't afford to draw a land here. It's got to be something good, and they're passing. I think that's a bluff. What do we want to do with that information? Well, not so much a bluff, but that is a... That's a big boy. So this is a Fireball 1 and X, so we can do 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Half their life total right now with that. I think I just pass here, potentially using the Lavamancer's ping to hit a creature. Knight of the Tusk is actually a legitimate threat. Yeah, I'm not sure how I can remember the theme of this one then. I thought it was like Soldier Tribal with the Legion. But we've got knights, we've got unicorns, we've got anthems, so I guess it's kind of like go wide weenie. Opponent's final card apparently has a lot of text on it, maybe more than Questing Beasts. It's the only reason this delay makes any sense. Do we have a card that wins us the game on the spot? We do technically in Magma Quake, I think. That actually, no, that one doesn't hit direct face. What do we have? A Din Rover Horror would certainly do a lot. I think our opponent has Rage Quit in a casual game of Jumpstart. Imagine getting salty in a draft format designed for beginners. It's a thing, alright. With no punishment for losing, by the way. You can just keep playing for as long as you want. And you can leave whenever you want as well. There's actually a rule in Magic the Gathering that says that that is a legitimate thing you can do. You can concede at any time. But I guess not. Opponent hasn't read rule number 1444 B6C section 48. Alright. Well, I guess we win. Opponent's not coming back. Lovely, lovely tears. Alright, so opponent passes their turn. We hit them in the face. We actually run out of Lava Mancer value here, so it's basically just a 1-1 attacker. I think we're gonna go to my turn. Drew a Chamber Sentry. So I'm gonna turn this into... Ooh, turn one of these red sources into a black source. And then we've got 5 mana here. Look at that. Beautiful. We're just gonna pass the turn. I think our opponent will lose via timeout here. It's a shame, because, like, I guess technically, maybe they've got an out. They could be slow rolling a burn spell for all I know. If they had the Magma Geyser, or whatever it's called, Magma Jet, they could ping me in the face and then top deck the hasty dude. I'm just gonna block. Lava Mancer just being a 1-1. It's done its job. Cinder Elemental maybe dying here. It would only ping for 2. Alright, opponent has come back. So, take him down to 10. We could legitimately lose, honestly. Tax each combat if able. So, that can be a blocker. I can discard, remove the Chamber Sentry for 5 counters, so maybe a block and activate Chamber Sentry works here as well. It's no Walking Ballista, so you do have to tap it. Okay, so we block here. Make sure we block the most amount of damage. Do I hit my opponent to 5 here and then pay 5 to get the sentry back? Suppose that's what we're doing, yeah. Let's remove 5 counters. Although, remove 2 counters or 3 counters from Chamber Sentry kind of makes more sense to kill the Knight of the Tusk, and then I get to swing through. I guess maybe I should have gone for the full 5 anyway. Yeah, I should have at least gone for 4. Forgot about the damage already on the card. Raging Regisaur. When it attacks, it deals 4 damage to any target. Let's get into combat first. See if our opponent has anything to say about it. Got to raise the alarm. Okay. Anything that blocks Ashmouth Hound doesn't really block Ashmouth Hound unless it blocks like that. Actually, no. Doesn't even work that way. See, reading the card does explain the card, and even I hadn't fully read the card. Well, I hadn't fully understood the card, I guess, which also applies to our opponent. Yeah, I kind of assumed it would only deal 1 damage, but it's just everything that blocks it takes that damage. So, nice shameful victory for us there. Pretty good, if I do say so myself, and I think that is going to do it for today's video. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and if you have, really appreciate if you do hit that like button and subscribe as well for more content like this in the future. And without further ado, going to end it off here. Take care, and good night.